Welcome to another episode of Life and Whiskey. As always, I'm Jordan, and we literally just got done recording the video for the 1792 single barrel. A huge disappointment, not very good, in my opinion, and it was $43. Now we're going to look at the 1792 full proof, and this is a single barrel select, so a store picked for the Town and Country supermarket liquors down in Cheyenne, Wyoming. So a nice store pick here. It is sitting at, so the full proof is sitting at 62.5% ABV or 125 proof. Now, if you know bourbon, you'll know that 125 proof is the maximum proof that whiskey, white, new make spirit can enter a barrel. You cannot go above that if it's going to be called bourbon. And so, one thing to note, that the higher the proof, the higher the entry proof into a barrel, the more oak tannin and oak notes you pull out of that barrel. So the more spice, the more cinnamon, the more bitterness you're going to pull out of that barrel. As you start to drop down in proof, in entry proof, you start to pick up more of the sweet vanilla caramel notes. So if you're in right around 110, even as low as 105, although it takes more aging time, but let's say you take 110 to 115, 117, if you look at that as a barrel entry proof, you're going to get more of those sweeter vanilla caramel notes. That 117 to 120, somewhere in there, you're going to get a nice blend, if you're lucky, of both the sweet notes and some of that oak impact. And then if you're like 120 to 125, somewhere in there, especially in Kentucky distilleries, you're going to get more of that oak tannin, some of those bitter notes, that black pepper. You might actually get the actual flavor of oak staves, just like a chunk of oak, like oak wood smells. So that's kind of what I'm expecting out of this. We'll see when we get into this. Now, we did do the 1792 Bottled and Bond. I recorded it a couple of days ago. I think when you watch these videos, I'm going to drop them in sequence where it's just the 1792 full proof, or sorry, Bottled and Bond, then the full proof. It'll be Bottled and Bond, the single barrel, and then I'll finish with this full proof. So it'll be three 1792s in a row, so you can kind of watch and see my comments on all of those. And we'll see how it goes. So this being a store pick, on top of the fact that it's a high proof, we'll see what we get out of this. I know I've tried this, but I have no recollection as to what it is and how it's going to present. So we'll just see where this goes. Now, already in the glass, and I can see a drip of whiskey running down the bottle there, so I'm going to do the old rub your hands together and evaporate it trick. I get a very sweet brown sugar on my hands, so we'll see if we can find that. Now, I'm also going to warm this up, and especially being a higher alcohol content, it'll be a little more volatile, so more stuff should come out of that glass with just a little bit of heat and a little bit of movement in the glass, hopefully. And indeed it does. Now, the ethanol is still not hit me in the face all that bad. Out of the bottom of the glass, I'm getting a sweet caramel. Out of the top of the glass, I'm getting a very dark, rich fruit cherry. My right nostril, I get a little bit of vanilla. And kind of, we got a young child, and we feed him these fruit pouches. And there's one that's just prune puree. Kind of smells like this dark prune puree. Left nostril, a little bit of a floral component with some brown sugar, and a nice light fruit cherry out of the middle of the glass. So a lot going on in the nose. Very nice fruity, sweet notes, pretty much all of them. Let's go in for a taste. proof is there. Okay, so first off, let's just start with this. This is a 9,000% improvement over the single barrel. Even though this is a single barrel, there was way more flavor components in that, and it had a good solid flavor profile from start to finish. There was no watery bits in there at all. A lot of sweetness up front, vanilla, caramel, pushed into a brown sugar mixed with that nice fruit cherry note kind of in the middle. And that's right when the ethanol started to hit me, and that ethanol did take over and dominate a little bit and clouded out some of the flavor profile for me. It did. It clouded it out to where the point where my brain wasn't focusing on it and it wasn't really recognizable, but there was still sweet components moving around in the background as the ethanol hit. And then it moved into the finish, which went into this really nice, sweet, syrupy caramel mixed with a bit of that barrel impact. So those oak tannins did come out. So it was like this really nice sweet caramel with just this bitter tinge on the back end of that moved into a black pepper and finished out with some nice sweet notes on the palate. Right now I'm getting just nice sweet cherry notes kind of sitting there with a nice creamy caramel. The nose is not changing much, and oddly enough, again, 125 proof, and stick your nose in there and it, man, the ethanol is not dominating at all. Sometimes you stick your nose in, even at like 90 to 100 proof, sometimes you'll smell something. You can't do this. You have to kind of take it out here a little bit. But out here I get brown sugar, man, like super, super sweet, sugary, sweet smelling, along with that cherry. I'm going to take another sip, see if I can't hone in on flavors a little bit more and maybe talk my way through it as I go. Vanilla, right into a brown sugar, right into a fruit cherry in the middle. That time I got a tinge of apple in there, like ripe Granny Smith apple. And as soon as I came off that apple note, it picked up into just a little bit of barrel tannin, a little bit of bitterness. And then that bitterness was quickly compensated for with a creamy caramel to finish out with some black pepper. So the bitterness subsided and you got some black pepper flavor and spice mixed into that ethanol that kind of subsided. I still got that blow up of ethanol kind of mid palate in there, but this time it was a little more subdued than the last time, and I was able to kind of taste different notes throughout. I'm going to do one more sip, I think, and then I'll drop some water in it. Since it is 125 proof, we'll put a couple drops in there, because a high proof whiskey like this is definitely something that is worth exploring with some water. So let's take just a small sip. Sweet caramel, brown sugar, cherry. Bitterness subsided till the end, and then the end is just that nice caramel in there for sure. We're just going to put, I barely have anything in the glass here, but it's at 125 proof, so we're just going to put like literally 4 drops of water in there. We'll see what that does. We'll give it just a second to kind of blend together. Now, from 125, those 4 drops with that amount of whiskey might have brought it down to 100 proof, maybe a touch under. But we'll see what it does. Now, my mouth right now is just coated with like caramel and brown sugar and lots of really sweet notes. On the back of my tongue, it's kind of dry, like a very dry wine type of feel. And that's that ethanol just kind of sitting and burning on the back of my tongue. Mixed with a little bit of that oak tannin burn bitterness. Let's see what this water did. First off, it really jumped the nose up in the glass. Very, very, very sweet caramel and cherry dominating in that glass. A little bit of floral component. It really woke up the nose a lot, made it much, much nicer to sit and nose. Let's see what the taste does here. Ooh. Mmm. Made it much, much better. Tamed it down and made it just one constant, nice, sweet brown sugar caramel. Moved it in. There's almost a little bit of peanut in there now. A little bit of corn tucked back in the back end. That bitterness was really subdued, so that oak tannin was subdued, but there's nice oak flavor mixed into that finish along with some black pepper. Just a little bit of water really helped that out a lot. Man, this is an exploratory whiskey here. This is something that I'll have to try another full pour of sometime and just slowly play with it and kind of add some water to it, break it up, and pick it apart. Because it seems like there's a lot going on in there. I know I'm kind of giving you the 10,000-foot view of, excuse me, what all those flavors are doing. But there's a lot there. There's a lot of sweet notes. The bitter component is knocked way down. There's not as much oak impact as what I would have thought with that particular proof. But, sometimes things happen. So there you go. And this is a single barrel, remind you. So, if obviously if you're not buying the store pick from Town and Country down in Cheyenne, you're probably going to get something a little bit different out of it. But whatever line and where, whichever warehouse and stuff they're picking for these for their single barrel select program here for their foolproof stuff, it's pretty darn good. I'll have to give them that. So there you go. So I'm not crapping all over 1792 as a distillery by any means. Their bottled and bond I thought was excellent. Granted, that was a store pick. And this foolproof I think is excellent, and that's also the store pick. Their single barrel that I had was not that impressive. And their small batch was one of the first videos I did. I was not that impressed with it back then. I would like to try it now and see what my opinion is of it now. But, maybe we'll do that in a future video. I don't believe I ever did say, but for this foolproof, I paid $54.99, so $55. Pretty hefty price on a just a regular run-of-the-mill bourbon. Being that it is a store pick, you can expect to pay slightly higher premium price for it. Compared to that single barrel, which I paid $42.99. And then compare that to the bottled and bond that I paid $37.99. So the bottled and bond was actually higher proof than the single barrel, and I paid 38 to 43. So I paid, what is that, $5 more for a lower proof and nowhere near as good a whiskey for that one. And then this full proof, that bumped her up quite a bit to $54.99, so $55. So there you go. Drop in the comments down below what you can find a bottle of 1792 full proof for in your area, and if it's a store pick, please let me know that as well. I'd be curious to hear what you have to say about the 1792 lineup, specifically the full proof, and if it was a store pick, something that you were able to pick up. Ooh, that was all. Oh, that's really deep, sweet brown sugar, like sticking your nose in the bag of dark brown sugar right there. But yeah, let me know down in the comments down below. And like I said, I'm going to drop these videos. I'll do the bottled and bond first, then the single barrel, and then this foolproof, kind of 1, 2, 3. So if you're watching on BitChute, it'll be either a Wednesday or a Saturday. So, and then for 3 more releases after that. So on BitChute, I release on Wednesdays and Saturdays. On YouTube, I only release on Saturdays. And currently, the videos that I have are going through like July. The videos that I have uploaded go through like mid-July 2023. So I'm recording this in 2022, and on YouTube, because I only release on Saturdays, this will probably not hit YouTube until late, like November, December of 2023, potentially into 2024. So there you have it. Hopefully the channel's grown a little bit by the time you actually do watch this. Check this out on Minds, and hopefully, if I can find some time here in the near future, I'll start uploading videos to Rumble. I do have an account. I just haven't uploaded any videos yet. But there you go. Yeah, that smells really good. 1792 foolproof. Check it out if you get a chance. As always, thanks for watching. I do greatly appreciate it. You guys have yourselves a great day, and we'll catch you in the next video, which will be I got 3 scotches down here. I'm going to pick one of them to review. That'll be the last review for this batch shooting that I am doing right now, and then I'll have 2 more scotches to do, and I still have this Jameson cold brew 50 mil here that I need to do as well, and that'll be it for all of the whiskeys from my travels here as of late from March, April, and May of 2022, going all around South Dakota and Wyoming. So thanks for watching. Have a great day. We'll catch you in the next video.